Welcome to Houston Real Estate Radio. I'm your host, Shannon Register, and every week we bring you news and information you can use on your next real estate transaction. We are headed into spring, and it is a great time for a real estate transaction. I'm really excited because every spring, this is just a really fun time of year for us as realtors. This is when we really help sellers get their homes ready, get on the market. I have sellers I've been talking to for months about what are they going to do before they get on the market. They've been changing out their carpet, steam cleaning their carpet, and repainting, and doing all these great things to get their houses ready. And now the time is finally here. And, if you want to put them on the market in spring, now is actually the good time to do it, because right now you don't have all the competition that you're going to have in March, April, May. So it's a great time to get it on the market. So we're excited about that. And we've got lots of buyers in the market looking for homes. So it's a great time to be in real estate. And that's why I brought on another real estate professional with me here today in the studio, another broker as well, and not just a realtor, but a broker. And we're going to talk about what that means this segment as well. Keith Hebert is here in the studio with me. He's a broker over at Register Real Estate Advisors. And welcome to the show, Keith.
Thank you.
So we're going to talk about some fun topics today, because there have been things that I feel like it wasn't enough to do a whole show about, but when you pile all those things together, it makes for a great show. So we're going to talk about a lot of different things today, aren't we?
That's right.
So a lot of buyers and sellers, one of the most frustrating things about being a realtor is that a lot of buyers and sellers don't know what you're doing behind the scenes, right?
Right.
You go to talk to them, and you have to listen. You got to listen to get to know them. You got to listen to know what their needs are so that you can figure out how you're going to help them. So you're doing a lot of listening. And then once you've done all that listening, you go and do your job, and they're not in front of you. They're not watching you do your job. And so they don't see what all you're doing. And so the transaction goes smoothly. They close on their home, and they felt like they didn't get their money's worth out of you. But all along, you were the one who kept it going smoothly and took care of everything along the way.
That's right. A lot of people don't understand the amount of training a realtor really needs to go through just to be a realtor or a broker. Just like the other day, we had a 2-hour class just on listening.
Yeah,
and I know that several wives asked their husband realtors to come up here and take that class.
Yeah, it was a great class. Great class. So let's talk about the biggest difference between a realtor and a broker, because some people don't know the difference between a realtor and a broker. And there are some definite differences between the two. And I want to talk about that. I also want to talk about some of these designations. I have heard people say that having all these letters behind your name as a realtor don't mean a whole lot, and I agree with that. The letters don't mean a whole lot. It's the education. It's the education. That's what they mean, is you've had the education. Right.
It just means that particular person, that realtor, decided it was important for them to take that next step and learn a little bit more about and dig deeper about the subject they're interested in, whether it be international real estate, luxury home, land, farm and ranch, working with buyers or working with sellers. They took that extra step that says, hey, I really want to become much better at what I'm doing.
Yeah. I have I think I have like 10 or over 10 designations. And it's funny because even right now I can name 3 designations right off the top of my head that I'm planning to take. I mean, there's always more education. There's always more you can do. And, it doesn't matter what line of real estate you're in, whether you only work with buyers or you only work with sellers or you only work on land purchases, there's always more you can learn. Always.
Yeah,
there's so many avenues.
Right. It's a continuing education, and times change, situations change, and you have to change with the time, just like with a lot of other businesses.
So let's talk about some of those designations. There are lots of them out there. Some of them, the ABR, the Accredited Buyer's Representative. What do you think of that designation?
Well, I think it's a very important designation. And how do you really protect your buyer? And in the transaction, there's state laws that need to be adhered to. And in buyer representation, you're going to learn about those laws and how to protect your buyer and keep your buyer out of court. That's the last thing you want to do, is get in a real estate transaction where you end up in court.
And I'll tell you what, if you're a listing agent and you haven't had the ABR and you've got an ABR coming after you with an offer, you're going to wish you'd had it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I hear listing agents say, I don't want to take the ABR. I don't want to work with buyers. I don't care whether you work with buyers or not. That's great information to have.
Yes, you better be well-versed in how real estate works in Texas. And that's we're a dual agency state, and you need to know those laws.
And how to work intermediary transactions. Right. All right, the GRI is another good one. The thing that I love about the GRI, the Graduate Realtor Institute, the reason I like that designation so much is because it's one of those that once you get it, you have it forever. You don't have to renew it every year. You just have it forever indefinitely. And I like that, because the ones that you have to renew annually, they come in the mail, you forget to renew them, and you got to go online and do that. But the GRA, you don't have to worry about it. Once you have it, you have it. And it's a great designation. Yeah,
it is. It really says that, hey, I looked at the real estate, I looked at it, and it took more than just basic courses. I delved into some of the subjects at a much deeper level.
The one for luxury properties is the ALHS, luxury properties. And there are some agents who only want to focus on luxury properties, so I think that's important. But even if you don't focus on luxury properties, it's a good one to have. Great information. They all have great information.
Right. Just luxury properties or land, there's specific rules and ways to engage that client and structure your contract, structure your negotiation. And if you don't have that, you're going to be in a disadvantage. So you want a realtor who's taking that extra step.
And the thing about luxury properties in Houston is you've got... The ALHS says that at a certain price point in a certain city, anything above that is luxury. And just because it's at a certain price point doesn't really mean it's a luxury, right?
That's correct.
So you can have a home that's in a great neighborhood. It's a big house on a big lot, and it's very expensive. You can have another house that's very tiny on a lot of acreage that's the same price. Or you can have another house that's just hugely upgraded on a small lot in another community. And they're all three the same price, but they're vastly different properties.
Exactly.
And some people would look at them and say, that's not even a luxury property.
Right.
But because of the price, it's considered luxury.
Right, that's correct.
All right, let's talk about home staging designations. There are a lot of those out there. The ASP home staging designation is the one that we do in our office that we promote with our agents, and our agents have that one. But there are others out there in the industry. There are several different ones. Do you think that's an important one to have?
Yes. When it comes to staging a home, it's a big difference when people walk in and they look at a home that's been staged versus not staged. It feels a lot warmer. It just makes that home so much better and enjoyable to look at. And it gives you an idea. You're not going to fully stage that home, but it's going to give you an idea how your furniture is going to fit in there, how you might fit in that home.
I know recently you just put a house on the market and got like 5 offers on it. So when that happens, in that circumstance, did you still have your seller stage the house, or was it not important because you knew you were going to have those offers coming in so fast?
I was lucky that this seller knew exactly what she should do for staging. I walked in the home. She was worried about a little bit of paint chip here and a paint chip there. And I looked around and said, this home is 90% better than I've seen any other home. Let's get it on the market. I put pictures up, and I have 5 showings in the next 2 days, and it's been on the market maybe 3 days.
All right, let's talk about the broker versus the realtor. I know for a realtor to get a license, do they even have to have a high school degree? I don't even know that.
No,
I don't think they do. I don't think they have to have their GRI. Their GED, do they?
No, you don't have to have your GED. You just have to, go to real estate school.
And real estate school is 180 hours of just core curriculum. You don't have to have any experience.
Right.
Just 180 hours of core curriculum.
Come in and you can take that online. You can take it through correspondence, or you can go to classes.
So a broker's different because you've got to have experience. You've got to have, 4 years in the business?
4 years.
4 years in the industry. You've got to have a lot more hours. 270 hours. Plus you have to have the broker responsibility class.
Right.
And you have to have higher education as well. You have so many higher education hours.
630, right?
It's a lot of hours.
Yeah.
It's a lot of hours.
It's in the 4 years.
Usually a college degree, sometimes on more than a college degree.
Yep.
So.
And the 4 years is, that's huge.
Yeah, it is huge. So big difference between a realtor and a broker.
And it wasn't that long ago that it was only 2 years, so
they've increased the standards.
They've increased the standards.
You know that consumers as a whole look at the broker designation as the number one designation for realtors to get. That's the one that means the most to consumers.
Oh yeah, as soon as I got my broker's license, I found that out.
There's like 27,000 realtors in Houston. You would think more of them would get their broker's license.
Yeah, I would think so, but it costs you more money.
That's true. All right, I know it's a great competing point. When you're a listing listing agent to be a broker versus a realtor. All right, we will be right back here on Houston Real Estate Radio. Later in the show, we've got CHI Mortgage coming on to talk to you about your mortgage needs, different options for different people. So stick around. We'll be right back here on Houston Real Estate Radio.